What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel again. Welcome to all the new subscribers. My name is Ben. We talk about business, mindset, money, especially for the people who are kind of struggling in that early stage and they're hearing about all these things and they're seeing all the polished videos and they're seeing everyone make money and they're kind of like, is this real? What do I do? What do I focus on? Or maybe you've already got a business going and you just need that encouragement to keep going, to focus on, the things that drive the needle. Whatever it is, these videos are just raw kind of reflections, lessons from my business journey, things that help me. I try to pull back the curtain a little bit on the kind of the reality of just like everyday life when you're doing this stuff, when you're going for a different path, when you want more for your life. So many people listen to the motivational stuff and then it sounds really nice and you see the thumbnails on YouTube and someone's got like a nice car or whatever it is, and that's all cool, and I want to get a nice car. I want to get a Cybertruck actually, but and we can get all that stuff. Like we'll make it happen. You watch this channel, it's gonna happen. But then there's just everyday life. There's everyday grind. There's everyday distractions. There's our phones. There's our emotions. There's the battle in our head that goes on, and that's real, and everybody has that. So I just think that that reality gets lost, and people just get discouraged. They get discouraged, and then they give up. And we don't want that. We don't want you to give up. We want you to build your business. We want you to use your ideas and bring them into the world. We need more people to do that. And if you're watching this channel, then you have something inside of you that you need to bring into the world. And business, I think, is the way to do that. So with all that being said, I want to talk about two things in this video. One is essentially how to ensure that you can actually do these things. How do you get, like, if you're starting out, like how do you make sure you take action? How do you make sure you move forward with your goals? And there's this framework that I've used right back before I was even starting a business, and I was just trying to get healthy. I had all this anxiety and stuff, and I was just trying to clean up my diet. I was trying to make lifestyle change, and it was just so hard. And I was like, why am I not changing? I'm like listening to this, and then like I'd go and I'd like get drunk, I'd be hungover, and I'd feel like shit, and I'd be like, gosh, like what is going on here? And so the simple sort of framework I came up with was more of what works and less of what doesn't. I'm going to say that again. More of what works and less of what doesn't. You probably already know in your life things that you can do to make it better. You're like, I could set a time to get up in the morning and I could spend half an hour studying email marketing in the morning because I want to be an email copywriter. That's just an example. Or I can make sure I get 10,000 steps a day. I'm trying to stay lean and healthy, and it gets me outside. Like, you already know some of these things that will make your life better, and then you probably know some of the things that make them worse. I do. And the shitty thing is I still do some of those things even though I know that. So that's kind of like the very human part of this. That's the part that people don't talk about as much. They're like, here's the step-by-step process, and it's like, yeah, but then I get discouraged and I don't want to send any more messages. Like, so obviously you got to be disciplined. You got to be a savage, watch some David Goggins, whatever you got to do, get fired up, get motivated. But yeah, we're human. So you're going to have those days and those times where you go and do the things that you don't want to do. And that's just part of being human. But return to that process and start to document the things that make you feel better, that make you not just feel better, but because feeling better is not really the goal, but it's more feeling fulfilled and knowing that you're on the path toward making your business happen. So more of what works, less of what doesn't. When I was doing my freelancing business, and this is only really just 2 years ago, I was broke at the time. I dabbled in freelancing in the past, but I'd kind of done it twice and then given up. But I was listening to all the podcasts and I was listening to all the entrepreneurial stuff, and I kind of just finally realized, I was like, the only way I'm going to get a client here is to send a message. Like, I can read all the books, I can do all the things, but unless I put this offer in front of people, and this is a great concept, like how is someone going to know that I want to write emails for them? And so it came down to the thing that works is sending messages. This is before, like, I'd gotten a few replies back, but this was kind of before I really got going. And so it was like, okay, I need to send more messages. That's what works. And then so putting in the reps of what works ended up bringing me success in that. What doesn't work? Well, it was sitting down to do my outreach and then only consuming more content or looking at YouTube videos about people who did what I want to do. So there's a time for the YouTube videos, but there's a time to just do the things that work. So if you're supposed to be doing your outreach right now, you can turn this off and you can go do that. But that's the first thing. So it's like more of what works and less of what doesn't work. And the cool thing is, I said this video is about two things, but that's the same thing. Like I still need to come back to that in my business now. You know, we have good revenue, we're making money, the business is working. And this is another conversation about e-commerce, but I'm a big believer in, just knowing your channels of acquisition. So like for me, I run Facebook and Instagram ads, and then I send emails. And ads and email drive the business forward. Yes, I do some social media. Yes, there's some other little things mixed in, but when I get too distracted, I need to think to myself what works and what doesn't. And what works for me is making more ads and spending more money on ads, on Facebook ads, and sending more emails to my email list. And those things drive sales forward in the business. And then we have more money to solve problems in the business. And it's kind of this ripple effect of doing what works. But there's so many other things that are distractions they could even be good things. It's like, oh, I want to go to TikTok shop and I want to go make new products and I want to do these other things because there's all this noise on the internet. I'm not immune to that. And so that pulls you away. And that could be another 6 months of dancing around, or even a month or even a week of distraction where you kind of stop doing the things that worked and you did more of the things that don't work. So if you're getting serious, you're trying to move forward, you need to identify those levers of things that work wherever you are in your business. Like if you have an e-commerce brand and you're struggling, maybe that's where you're at. You need to identify what works for you. If you don't know what works for you yet, then it's like, then you need to find the thing that works for you by testing more things. And that's the same, like if you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what works in business, I'm too early on. Well, you need to just learn more shit and try more shit. That's like listening to more content specific to the problem you have. So if it's Facebook ads and you're trying to get Facebook ads working for your business, you need to obsess over that. I've obsessed over Facebook ads for like 18 months. It's like all I've done. It's not all I've done, but it's like I was YouTube videos, podcasts, wherever I could get it. And I got pretty damn good at it. And that's like that's the point though. You need to go learn if you don't know what works yet. But then as soon as you find what works, you do more of it. So if you're early on and you don't even know what business you want to start, like you need to do more. And the two things, this is the other thing I was going to mention on the video, and I mentioned this the last time, but you need to be immersing yourself in new stuff. You need to break out of your sort of slump of not making connections and not growing. So you need to get on Twitter. I'll link the free Twitter, people to follow on Twitter. So you get in there, you get in the right space. You need to get on Twitter, make connections. And then if you're starting on Twitter, here's a good example. Let's say you're trying to grow on Twitter so you can get clients. So you put in your bio, I write emails or I design emails or whatever it is, or I do SEO. Then nobody's going to find you when you have no followers. Nobody's going to give a shit. I was that person a couple years ago. I have a small following now, but nobody's going to care about you at the start. So like you should go comment on 100 things a day, which can sound stupid, but that's kind of like the outreach. That's how you get attention. That's how people find you is by going and commenting. Try not to spam people, but go comment on other people's posts and accounts, and that's how you get seen. Someone will follow you, and then slowly you'll start to make connections, and slowly you can reach out to people. It's hard not to be needy at the start on social media. And I'm not like a social media growth guy. I'm still learning this stuff, but even that, it's like do more of what works. It's like if you tweet more and you comment more will happen on there. But that's something that you need to do if you're early on. It's like you got to be making connections. You got to be doing outreach. You've got to be obsessing over this stuff. Like you should read Hormozi's books, both of Hormozi's books. Listen to those. You need something to sell. I've talked about a service to sell. So if you're early on, you got to just get that down. You've got to get your service, and then you've got to pitch it. And that's basically what works. And that's what you need to focus on hard for like 6 months, 3 to 6 months, just till you get your money right. You want to get to like 5, 10K a month. That's very doable. Consume the information, learn, but do your outreach and try to grow on Twitter so you can make more connections that way, or Instagram if you want. But like, you got to be making shit happen. Like no one's gonna no, at a certain point, if you're not doing the stuff that works, like you might feel like you're working hard, but you're not actually working hard, and nothing's happening. And I lived this for like years. I was slowly making progress, and I've talked about that. Like, even when you are doing the right things, it'll be slow, but at least you'll know you're putting reps in. Whereas if you kind of just stop sending messages, you don't post any content, you don't meet new people, you then just go back to your like job, like that's when you're going to be kind of not making progress. So it's a dance. Like I said, we're humans, we get discouraged. Every day won't be perfect, but you want to set the intention that, you're headed towards those ideas, those dreams, those businesses, and that you can make that happen if you do more of what works and less of what doesn't. So that was the main thing here. Hopefully this video was helpful. Someone had asked about email marketing, so we'll probably get to a video on that. But you should all be studying copywriting. You should all be learning storytelling, hooking attention. Another thing, like just to learn, like posting a daily video on TikTok, just learning how to, just literally a selfie video, like, hey, I learned this today. Like start to learn what works, and then you can iterate on that. So you can apply that framework to anything, more of what works, less of what doesn't. If you've got, like, the crazy thing is this does work. If you're at a business and you're doing 6 figures a month, you're going to have an idea of where your revenue is coming from. And it's like, you want to grow, do more of that. Do more sales calls, run more ads, spend more on ads. Final story is just with my e-commerce brand. I remember I was figuring stuff out and starting to grow. And at a certain point I was like, what do I do to grow this? How do I grow this business? How do I make more money? And the answer was to spend more money on ads. Like, just to literally go into my account and spend more money. Like, you're spending $200, spend $400, and that will create more. And that sounds so simple, but it's like, that's what we overcomplicate. So it's like, right now you're trying to, you're trying to grow a YouTube channel. Let's just use that. And it's like, what grows a YouTube channel? Posting videos. Yes, you can optimize. Yes, you can do all that stuff. But at a certain point, you're going to have to post videos. If there's not videos getting posted, then you need to post videos. And if videos are working, it's like, well, could you do 2 videos a week? That sort of thing. So more of what works, less of what doesn't. I hope that's helpful. Some free resources, some free guides down below. There's a copywriting course. There's the Twitter, who to follow on Twitter, stuff like that. So you can grab that down below. That is it. Much love. Peace. I'm out.